Inside the Birds is back. What's going on, everybody? It's Geoff, Mosher, and Adam Caplan. Middle of the week, Inside the Birds. Adam, the Eagles getting prepared. They can't rest. They came up with a nice win, a JalenHurts breakout against the Minnesota Vikings, but they have a rematch. The second time in how many days is it? Second time in, I didn't do the math. How many times are they about to play the Giants in the same span?
So they play. Yeah, actually, they played them on a Thursday night, correct?
Right. So it'll be the second time in 17 days, right?
Well, Thursday. Yeah, you get the yeah. Bottom line is it's ridiculous. They should, and they're doing it with Washington, as you know. It's week 16 and 18.
Right. I don't like it at all. I like them spread out a little bit, just like I didn't like playing Dallas on the season opener. I like it when if they were playing the Cowboys now, right? I think that game would be even bigger because the Cowboys are this explosive offense. They weren't this explosive week one. They were still figuring some things out. Javonte, right? If you have that build up, I just think the game has that much more magnitude to it. And then so I don't really like this whole Giants thing 2 times and like that.
Well, some years in the league trend towards this in their scheduling is that they started to make every game like weeks. This is before the 17-game schedule. They would make the final 4 games all division,
right?
But they're not doing that right now. So what they said in the schedule call after they released it was they don't care about like what you and I are saying. They hear us. They just want great matchups. And obviously the league partners, the television partners have a say in it, but they just want great matchups. It's like, I agree with you. Look, Dallas in week 1, it's obviously an automatic generator of traffic, but it's just funny how the league says, no, we don't think like that. I'm like, okay, fine.
Right. Before we get started, really, in this podcast, we'll talk about, not only the addition that Eagle have, big addition number 55 and the impact that he might have, but also some really big injuries, again, that might impact their game against the Giants, just like the JalenCarter one did when he wasn't on the field for them in that first game. There are some injuries. We'll talk about it on both sides. I want to ask you this, just because we're after this game, the Eagles go to the bye, and then after the bye, it'll almost be the halfway mark of the NFL. The NFC right now, Adam, between the Eagles, the Lions, right, the Bucks, the Rams, and the Seahawks have been very, very impressive. Of those 5, any one of those surprise you? Anyone that you think right now is the team to beat? What do you think about that?
Well, the team to beat to me is Detroit. I'm going to wind up getting that one wrong. I know that the Packers are they're technically now. It doesn't mean anything. They're the number 1 seed because they only have 1 loss, but they're not. Something with their defense. They're always really talented, but they never become a team that raises to the talent level. I don't know why. Jeff Hafley's done a fine job. There's been something missing, whether it was Joe Barry before him or Hafley. Mm-hmm. They're good, but they're not. Now, Barry was too conservative, so they fired him. But Hafley's, like, he changed the scheme. They went from 34 to 43. Obviously, Parsons had a great game last week. But to tie the Cowboys, to give up 40?
Yeah.
In that game, I remember that was a Monday night game. I couldn't. I had to get up early the next day. I was like, I don't care. I'm watching this game. This is like unbelievable football. It was kind of like, I don't know if you saw it. I was watching the Red Zone last Sunday. The Denver game, Giants game, was so bad for 3 quarters, a total snoozer. And I had the Red Zone on, and Scott Hansen starts. He's like, hey, they're coming back a little bit. The Broncos. I'm like, God, there's no way. Well, the Broncos scored 33 in the 4th quarter. Get out of here.
Crazy. I know. Hey, no one has had a bigger roller coaster so far over the last 4 weeks than the Giants. So ever since Jackson Dart took over, they beat the Chargers at a time where the Chargers were starting to get injured, but they were still playing good, right? They beat the Chargers. Then they go to New Orleans and they blow a lead and lose to the Saints, become the first team this year to lose to the Saints. And then you think, same old Giants, right? So then what do? They come back, they beat the Eagles, like trounce the crap out of them on Thursday night. Sure. And then, as you just mentioned, they go to Denver. And nobody goes to Denver and builds a lead like they had an 18-point lead in the 4th quarter, and then they blow it, retake the lead, and then blow it again because the kicker can't make. I mean, I have not seen a team on each side of the spectrum week to week in a long time like these Giants.
So I don't know if it could be baseball or football, it doesn't matter. But when you watch something, teams go back and forth. It could be like a home run fest.
Mm-hmm.
Inning 7 through 9, you go, what the hell just happened? Well, the Denver game was one of those ridiculous things where Denver scored. By the way, Denver didn't score a point in the first 3 quarters. That's the craziness of it.
At home.
Insane, right? At home. And then you saw the athleticism of Dart and Nix take over, scrambling, finding ways, crazy throws. The Giants were severely shorthanded at receiver. Neighbors is out for the season. Slayton didn't play in that game. No, the crazy play, the Theo Johnson deflection for a touchdown. I mean, can't make it up. There was actually another play like that.
Oh, there was three in the game. Yeah, 3 deflections.
Well, there are 2 that I saw, right? Were there 3? Okay.
Yeah. And to be fair, Bo Nix is one of Bo Nix's completions, those 3 that he got that got them into the game-winning field goal territory, was not meant for the receiver. I think it was meant for Sutton, and Mims caught it. So it was.
Yeah, Mims did. Marvin Mims, right. So as this plays into this week's game, and now the Giants are 2-5. They had, by the way that I do schedule breakdowns, they had the hardest schedule by far coming into the season. Okay.
Yep.
It's based on the way you're not playing last year's teams, you're playing this year's teams. It's my strength of schedule strictly based on what I see from these clubs, roster, coaching, and front office. Because let's say a team suffers a bunch of injuries. Do they sign the right free agents, street free agents? Do they make trades like Howie often does? That stuff's important to me when you evaluate teams. So yeah, that stuff matters.
Yeah, amazingly, they lost the team that you thought they might beat, which is the Saints, and then they beat the team nobody thought that they could beat, which would be the Eagles. So, and obviously beating the Chargers. So they're playing with house money, because I think most people thought they would be 1-6 or 0-7 after 7 games. So they're an interesting team, and I'll say this before we get really into it. There's I do believe that the way Jackson Dart has played, and the way Scadaboo has played, and the way Dable has coached Jackson Dart, he's letting him throw the football. He's not simplifying everything. He's letting him play like an NFL quarterback. It's injected some confidence into that team. I mean, they were Kayvon Thibodeau was going at it with Benito and Twitter before the game. The Giants aren't this kind of team that is going to allow you to just walk in there and punch them and they're going to stay down. They play with more confidence now. I think that they've been injected with some youth, and I'm not saying they're good. I mean, they're up and down, but
see how they play. Yeah, but they're 2-5. Yeah. No, they're competitive as hell despite the injuries. No, they have a talented defense. Brian Burns is having a great season. Their front is really good. Shane Bowen is a Mike Vrabel guy.
Yeah, I kind of think he's not doing the best job from a back end standpoint. I feel like
the corner position is the problem. Like
when Greg Cosell told us that their pass rush package did not include Dexter Lawrence, I thought that was a little fishy.
What, coming into the Eagle game, you mean?
Yeah, that their 4-man rush, they were taking Lawrence off and putting, I think, well, they were putting Darius Alexander. I know he's a 2nd-round pick.
He's played really well, but that is odd. Yeah,
it's hard to figure out. Like, well, can't you play them both? I mean, can't you get like half and half? It was just It's strange to me. It just feels like they should be better, because I've always said if the Giants could get a lead, which they've had a couple of times, they'd probably be pretty tough. They'd get to hit the quarterback a little more, but they've had a lot of leads and blown them. So I don't, we'll see if that defense needs to just come together a little bit more.
To me, is before we get started here, you would think after the Eagles got embarrassed 2 weeks ago. And by the way, the Giants were whooping it up after the game, man. They were like I don't know if the Eagles are aware of it, but they were celebrating. They were going crazy on the sun because the game was over with 7 minutes left. It was over. And remember now, Dickerson didn't play, and Carter didn't play. That's pretty significant. Well, barring something unforeseen that we don't know about, and we'll get into injuries in a minute here, they're playing. So it's going to be fascinating to see in 2 weeks later what this game is going to look like.
Agreed. All right. If you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend, I more than highly recommend you listen to our Tuesday night show with WBCB. Adam and Andrew DiCecco hosted it with Eagles running back Will Shipley, which was just an awesome guest to have. And Will is really, really good. I mean, he gave great insight. It was great dialogue with you and Andrew, and clearly Andrew has gotten to know Will from doing the Rookie Diary, and so they've got a rapport there. And I just thought it was, very insightful. You learn a lot when you talk through not only, we've had some former Eagles who are really good at breaking down the game on their show with us, but to have a current Eagle was fantastic. You navigated it really well, asked great questions.
Yeah.
So everybody should really listen to it. It's on our podcast platform. You could have watched it live on our YouTube channel every Tuesday night from 6 to 7 o'clock. We are streaming this show alongside with WBCB Sports. So you can see it on the Inside the Birds YouTube channel. And it is quite the show. And that one was an excellent one.
So also, I would add, if you want, Will was incredible with the autograph hounds. It was something else. I mean, there were 24 people. I don't know how the hell they knew. I know we put up a tweet out, or Jon Patterson's site, who they're a partner of WBCB, and obviously we know these people. So anyway, they put a tweet out. I retweeted it. I don't know. So all of a sudden, I look up. I'm like, what is that? What the hell? They were like, they knew. People know. And you would not believe the pictures that they found. I was saying to Will, like, dude, look at this. Look at this. How did they get this Super Bowl picture? Like, it wasn't like one that's a stock photo. It's like a very unique one. And it was great. So what we did is Andrew and I asked him about situational stuff, special teams, and we went over a lot of players and coaches. Wait to hear what he says about Hurts and Tanner McKee. We brought him up. It's great to give insight about what he sees in practice. Smitty, AJ. It's just and the special teams coaches and VicFangio. It's really funny what he said about Vic.
It's great.
It's great. He was fun. He loves it. Yeah, it's great, and hopefully we'll have him on again. I'm sure we will probably later in the season.
Yep, and that is already up on, again, our podcast platform, so check it out. And of course, later today we'll have our shortened version of Ask Greg Cosell. We do it every week on Patreon. We had a really good, lively, spirited one, about 13 or 14 people in the chat room asking Greg questions. And honestly, at one point it just evolved into really good conversation. There are some questions that nobody can answer. Like why does the team, we all would like to know why the passing offense is great one day and not. I mean, there's only so much you can say from an X's and O standpoint, but it became a really good dialogue and discussion about multiple parts of the team.
One thing I want to add, because I watched it on Tuesday or Wednesday morning, for the Cosell haters or the people who say Greg's not complimentary of Hurts, I was blown away how complimentary he was. Like, I almost said, man, Greg, why don't you be a little bit stronger with your compliments on the regular platform? Yeah. He was like, wow. I was like, am I hearing this? Like, he's like going, it was like he praised him. He said he played well in the game, but just the way that he said it, talking about high level quarterback play. Yeah, because Hurts does a lot of stuff off schedule, like we see Josh Allen do it and other quarterbacks.
Yep.
But Jalen is not the accomplished passer that some of these other guys are. But some of those throws from Hurts were similar to the Super Bowl. Not this one. Hurts' first Super Bowl, where he was unbelievable. I would argue the first Super Bowl was one of the best performances in NFL history from a quarterback. It was incredible. Amazing. They lost, unfortunately. But and I'm not an Eagles fan, but they got cheated by the grass. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway,
almost as good as Tom Brady throwing for 500 yards in a loss to the Eagles.
They lost. And it's funny. I remember another coach saying to me from another team who obviously watched the game, he goes, Schwartz got off the hook for that game because just think if the Eagles would have lost, the fans would have turned on Schwartz totally.
Oh my God! To get what the Eagles got offensively that day, and if they didn't win that game, getting Nick Foles to play like Joe Montana, like, are you kidding me?
And the guy who did it all, the strip, he's back.
He's back. All right, great segue. Hey, you know that one guy in the group chat who hit a 5-leg parlay week 1 and he wouldn't shut up about it for the rest of the season? Sounds like Caplan, right? Yeah, it could be him. It could be you, and we would all want to be you. MyBookie makes it stupid easy to get in on the action, whether it's college ball, NFL, super contest, and survivor pools, all the spreads, player props, and in-game lines that you could want all under one roof. What more could you want than that? If you're new to MyBookie, use our code, THEBIRDS, THEBIRDS, the birds. Use the code, and any bet you choose up to $500 is fully covered. Make your play, and if it doesn't hit, you get it right back when you opt in using your bet back bonus token. There is no better time to jump in right now. No better place to play. Football is back. Let's make some money with MyBookie. Sports are all about competition every snap, Every possession, every clutch moment matters. That same energy is what 1v1 Me brings to video games. Every single day, you can watch and stake on matchups in Madden, NBA 2K, FC, and Call of Duty Search and Destroy. All the games are streamed live. Every match has refs, and payouts are instant. And these aren't just random online lobbies. These are the best players in the scene, pros, streamers, and rivals. With season playoffs and the championship game on the line, every game matters. Over 100 million has already been paid out on the app, and the community is growing fast. If you're a sports fan, a gamer, or just someone who loves having a little extra on the line, 1v1 Me is where you need to be. It's not just about winning, it's about the bragging rights too. Every match has a chat going crazy, and you can back your picks in real time. Download today and use code BIRDS. Your first stake on the app is risk-free. That's code BIRDS for a risk-free first stake. By the way, it is also Kelly Green Week for those who
I love the jersey.
For those who observed, it's Kelly Green Week, and I get excited. I like it too. I actually think this sounds ridiculous, but just from a media journalist / editor standpoint, I think the pictures like we put on Inside the Birds with our Andrew stories and in Philly Voice, I think they look better on the site and more colorful, more vibrant when the Eagles are in their Kelly Green. So I always try to find a Kelly Green photo if Andrew writes a story about somebody in the offseason and we're just using pictures because it just looks good and people love it. I really do think it attracts people to want to read the story or see it because they like Kelly Green so much. So they're going to wear them. Also, this is the first time they're going to wear them, right? They're wearing them again?
Yeah, so this is really interesting. So they have not done this, what they're going to do, like, okay, this week, but they're going to wear them on the road at the Cowboys in week 12. They have not worn them on the road since the 90s. Mm-hmm. So when they came back 2 years ago in 23, they were at home. They wore them at home. So they're wearing week 12 on the road at Dallas. And then for the Commandos in week 18, at this point, with as banged up as the Commandos are, we'll see if that game actually means anything. But they're going to wear them at home in week 18 to end the season, regular season.
So one against each NFC East opponent is how they're doing it. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. Now, the only thing is, from someone who had an Eagles jersey in the 90s, those jerseys were a darker Kelly Green, if you will. Just the shade of it. These are brighter. I love bright colors. I don't know about you, but I for tennis, I wear really sometimes fluorescent shoes. I don't care, man. I just like brighter colors. So I love them, man. I think the helmet's super cool. In fact, one of these days, might have to replace this real helmet with the Kelly Green one. Somehow I have to get one.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Anyway. Speaking of BG and Kelly Green, so I thought this was interesting. The Eagles' first injury report of the week, they put out on a Kelly Green poster on social media. I don't know if they had to do this. Maybe you have more insight into it, but they actually put Brandon Graham on it. Although they said he's not injured, they just wanted to let everybody know that he was a full participant in practice.
The rule is when you're in a reserve, he's not actually on the roster, but when you're in a reserve list and you practice, you must be listed on the injury board. So it forces teams. I mentioned this like 3 years ago when the league started doing it, which was great, by the way. They had to list the injuries. Sometimes injuries don't actually get reported. Like a guy going on IR and it'll say undisclosed and never gets reported.
Right.
But so maybe they had to put him on there just because he practiced. But
he's practiced, but I mean, he's got no injury. But
he's not. But he's not on the roster. The Eagles have a roster exemption for 2 weeks from now.
Right.
It's weird. Like they're counting the bye week as a week. They're giving a 2 week exemption because he hasn't been here for 9 months.
Right.
So it's wild. And by the way, Fangio's quote. He's so this guy. I love the subtle shots he takes to the NFL or reporters like. And quite frankly, hey, I'll admit it. Like when Vic says, what did he say about to the police? He had a great line, something about to the snap count police or something like that. He said something.
Oh yeah. It
was just and he takes
it the ramp up. Wasn't it the ramp up police?
Yeah. He hates the ramp up period. Look, we learned our lesson with Ojulari. He played not Ojulari, the guy who retired.
It was Darius Smith, yeah.
Yeah, he played the first week. He came back.
Yeah. Well, I think that's interesting, Adam. I'm not convinced that if Brandon Graham has a good full week of practice, that he won't at least play a few snaps because as long as the triceps is fine and he's healthy and conditioned, like you said with Darius Smith, He had a good week of practice. So he had no OTAs. He had no training camp. He was literally off the street. He showed he could play, and he played. So it wouldn't surprise me if Brandon Graham.
Very limited role. Now, from what we understand, he's in really good physical shape. Now, that does not mean in game shape or condition. So Fangio will find out.
Right.
But guys, and you know this, Eagles have 3 healthy edges on the roster right now. It is a centimeter thin, their edge group, to the point where, and if you didn't watch it, Greg and Vic Fangio kind of confirmed this. It basically, when Campbell lined up on the edge, he was an add-in defender against the run. He really was not much. He played almost exclusively on the edge as a base down player, a little bit nickel, but he really didn't rush the passer.
Right.
They got to use. I understand Vic doesn't want him doing that or is reluctant to do it. I don't care. Like, Vic's been great about he's got to do whatever he's got to do. He's done that this season. He's done it really since he's been here. But Patrick Johnson right now is the first guy off the bench. I know he's been a nice story, but come on.
Right.
Where else are you going to go here?
And you're light. Remember, you're light at the edges with who you have. Right.
That's
now.
it. No, they only have 3.
Yeah.
And
I don't mean I mean light like physically too. So
you mentioned that the other. Yeah, you mentioned that with Greg. And then the only guy they have on the practice squad is Pal Ryland.
Right.
That's it. He's never played in an NFL game before, regular season.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, listen, if Brandon Graham, if Vic thinks he can play 15 snaps, he's going to play 15 snaps.
Yeah. They need it, man. I mean, now I know they've played Carter in a wide 9 alignment. They've done that under Vic. He can do that. Ojomo's done it a little bit, I believe, last year. It's not ideal. It's funny because he's got the body to play outside anyway to line up in a 9 technique. But bottom line is they've got some challenges here. I mean, they got some depth issues. We'll get to the injury report. There are the dreaded pop-ups happen. We'll get to them in a couple minutes here.
Yeah, definitely. As for other transactions, but again, Brandon Graham technically, as we're talking, is not on the 53-man roster. If he's going to play, they would. I think they have an open spot though. I have to go back and look. I thought they had an open spot. Could be wrong about that, but either way, he'd have to be put on the 53-man to be able to play. Jakorian Bennett, who has been out since the Rams game. What was that, week 3?
Week 3, yes. Yeah,
week
3. Yeah.
Week 3, out with the pectoral injury, is in the 21-day practice window. And I think this is another guy Vic's like looking at, like, is he conditioned enough? Is he good? I don't know, Adam. He never really had a chance to play in Vic's defense, which is not easy to learn for a corner. And then he got hurt. He may not have a choice if he's active, because really you could be one injury away from getting in the game. But again, I don't, there might be some other people higher than maybe Parry Nickerson or something, because Vic just has to see what he's got in practice this week.
Yeah. And he's an outside corner. He's not an inside corner. So they need him. I mean, they're another position. You can't predict injuries, and he's just had so many problems in his career. He had both shoulders done, in the last 2 seasons in terms of surgery. But he said he was good to go. He told before the trade, because he didn't know he was getting traded, before the trade from the Raiders to the Eagles, he told the reporters that, and who covered the Raiders, that he said he was good, he's clean, he's feeling great, and then he gets hurt with his pectoral strain. So it's unfortunate, but they need him. This is something, and we'll get closer to the trade deadline. We'll talk more about it next week, but watch edge and watch corner, man. Nothing that's happened is going to change it. You want to win the Super Bowl? The Eagles could absolutely make another run to get there. They got to have better players at both positions. This is the way it is.
All right, at tight end, the Eagles, who had signed Jaheim Bell on the practice squad, I think by the time when we did our last podcast, we talked about it. Well, he's already gone as they continue to do that thing, though. EJ Jenkins reverts back to the practice squad after the game. And Adam, you predicted it. I don't know if this was the guy that you predicted, but you said there's no way the Eagles get through this week without signing some kind of veteran interior offensive lineman. And Caplan Stradamus is there, and the Eagles bring back Sua Opeta to the practice squad. We know there's not a lot out there.
What's that?
We know there's not a lot out there.
I know, but the thing is, they need a guard center, not just a guard. Now, Sua, as we reported 4 or 5, whenever the heck he was drafted, like he could only play one side of the line, and it took him a while to get used to. Matt Pryor could learn something about this. Over time, Opeta could play both guard spots.
Right.
So that's important, but they've not shown the willingness to put Drew Kendall on the. He hasn't played yet. He hasn't been active.
Yeah.
They need a backup center in the worst way.
Yep.
They could say whatever they want about Brett Toth. I know. I asked Will Shipley about him. He talked about him, and I know I get he's smart. He's been there on and off the roster since 19, and they got through the game. They won, but you just worry about this. You need insurance, man, and it's that anyone you're signing off the street is cost effective. It's not cost you hardly anything. It's not a cap issue.
Yep.
They got to do it, man.
Yep.
But haven't done it.
So I got the sense reading the tea leaves, and we'll look into this if we can. It didn't sound like they were very committal. So definitely playing center if Jurgens is out against the Giants, but we'll talk about that in a second. Those are the transactions. Opeta is on the practice squad. It does give them someone that Jeff Stoutland is familiar with. He can play both sides, but he's also available for a reason too. It's not like he was, poached from a team. He was signed off to the practice squad off the street.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what kind of shape he's in, but he's there on the practice
They're going to
squad.
find out very quickly because they need their depth again on the offensive line is another area where they're really thin.
All right. So now we get into the injuries and the injury report. And there, like you said, there's some pop-ups we got to talk about. There were some people out of practice. Jurgens was out of practice Wednesday with the knee. It doesn't seem good, Adam. And again, I sensed that it's not that Toth won't play. I sense that maybe if they go about it without Jurgens, that Dickerson plays center and Toth plays left guard because that's more comfortable for Toth. He doesn't have to snap. But as you mentioned, Dickerson also limited in practice on Monday, and now it's ankle / back, right? So that's not great.
No, they've got. It's just when I look at their injury report, as I am right now.
And this was a real practice, by the way, everyone. This is not.
Yeah, it wasn't a walkthrough. Yeah. Let me just go through this real quickly here.
Sure. You want to start with AJ Brown? I mean, he's out. He missed.
Yeah, he's in. This is one we didn't know about.
That's your dreaded pop-up.
I'd be very surprised if he doesn't play. I know it's a hamstring injury. The only reason why I say that is because he's tweeting. He's Xing, if you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, to the X platform.
He was also standing on the sideline next to Big Dom. You're right. I think we said this at the end of training camp when people were worried about all the time he was missing. And you and I said, we're watching him throwing passes to fellow wide receivers. He's planting the leg. He's fine. I can't say with 100% certainty he's fine this time, but it is a good sign that he's standing on the sideline and not inside.
Yeah, so A.J. Brown with a hamstring, we'll keep an eye on it. Now, if he doesn't practice today, which is Thursday, and is limited Friday, I would be concerned, but that's just one. Just know how these injury reports go. The key day is always Friday because for a Sunday game. That's when you have a pretty good idea if the guy's going to play or not.
Yep.
Calcaterra got some light work in. And by the way, really cool thing, Shipley does describe. Andrew asked him about the oblique injury. Boy, did he give a great detail on the oblique injury. I won't give it away, but it was really cool.
Yes.
Dreaded pop-up. Goddard calf limited on Wednesday. The new one, he had the knee injury where he missed a game. We'll keep an eye on that. As an older player, you're always concerned about that calf injury. You mentioned Jurgens did not work. That's pretty much a. Don't
forget Ajomo though. He was.
No, we're gonna finish off offense. Dickerson now, he's got the left ankle still on there. Now he's got a back issue. He's had back problems before. You got to watch that. He did get some work in. We're going to keep an eye on that. Going to defense, as you mentioned, Ujomo now has a shoulder issue. He did get some work in on Wednesday. That's a shoulder, it's a contact issue. You got to be able to see that. Charter got hurt on special teams with the ankle. He didn't work on Wednesday. Other than that,
Adoree is still in the concussion protocol.
Yeah, so. He is. He couldn't work.
Right.
Ojulari's not expected.
I got to remind everybody that if he does appear on as a practice, he has to practice to be able to play. So he's got to appear in some form or fashion as a limited, or he has to do something on the practice field as part of the protocol. So Thursday and Friday will be big for him. Yeah.
Yes. Ojulari won't play according to Vic. He broke the news. I don't think so. So they've got new ones. So the ones on watch are Brown,
Jurgens for sure, Brown,
Bennett because they need him. If he can play, he plays.
Yep. But how much? If Vic thinks that this guy is in good shape, and he can play, I got to think it's more special teams and rotate. I can't imagine he starts over Keely Ringo.
Just to sub in to honestly to get Ringo off the field. I mean, to get Bennett in there. Bennett's a better football player.
Yeah.
By the way, we got to watch Goddard with the calf.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Ojomo, the fact that he got some work in is a good thing. But yeah, they have more, and we'll get to the Giants in a minute. But yeah, they've look again, dreaded pop-ups on Wednesday. It's never a good thing, but I don't get worried for fantasy, especially until Friday. That's when I'm like a hawk on these things because I got to know if my players are going to be the lineup. I'm like, all right, I've dealt with injuries, on injury report for over 25 years, so I kind of have a pretty good feel for it. But you get tricked sometimes.
I was going to say there's some good news though on this injury report by who's not on it.
Oh, JalenCarter, not good point. JalenCarter with the heel and Jordan Davis with the shoulder. But the big one is Carter with the heel. That is a big thing for me, for him not to have that thing. That's good. That's a positive. Good point.
All right. So now we'll get into the Giants injuries. They had a scare a little bit in that game. Not only did they blow it, but I read that Burns had left the game in a boot. So that was a little nerve-wracking for them. I don't know if he had a.
He says he's playing. Yeah, he actually said. Yeah, he was interviewed Wednesday. He said he's good to go. It's actually a hip. They're listing as a hip. The two that they're very concerned about are Paulson Adebo, one of their starting corners with a knee injury. Javon Holland with a neck didn't work, and that's concerning. John Michael Schmitz, their center who didn't play last week. Aaron Schlottman, remember him from Denver and the Vikings. He's a journeyman. He started for him last week. Neighbors is out for the season ACL. Micah McFadden, who's a really underrated inside backer, he's out until late in the season with a foot injury. They're actually going to have a kicker this week.
How about that?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. You reminded me of all the problems Graham Canoa's had over his career with injury. He's playing this week. He's designated for return, but he's going to kick. They're pretty certain of it. They kicked the kid. They kicked him out. The kid who had a terrible game on Sunday. So it'll be Graham Gano's back. Darius Slayton, by the way, said he expects to play, and at times he's been the Eagles killer. They need him. They're really late at receiver.
Yep.
So those are the injuries, but yeah, both teams have some concerns that could impact this matchup. I got to feel, and I didn't ask Will this. We didn't get to it with him. I got to feel like they got to be fired up for this game. It's at home. Kelly Green's. I know it's a minor thing, but getting embarrassed. That's another great thing about Sirianni is how you rarely see the Eagles get beat badly since he's been the head coach.
Yeah.
When everyone's playing, when they've had their players, what happened in Tampa last year in week 4, because everybody, the key players were out. When they have their, now again, yes, Dickerson was out and Carter was out, but just to get embarrassed like that, to get handled, it's not like a Sirianni coach team. I would expect them to come out. You could see what way I'm leaning when we pick our games on Friday or Saturday, whatever it is, when we take the pregame show. So, but anyway, that's that.
Yeah. Hey, fall is planting season. Did you know that many plants and trees actually do better when planted this time of the year? But you got to know where to start. And that's why I love fastgrowingtrees.com. Doesn't matter if you live in the sunny South or if the air's getting a little chilly where you are, the plant experts can help you find the perfect fit for your space. They've got everything your yard needs: fruit trees, privacy trees, shrubs, flowering trees, so much more. And Fast Growing Trees makes it so easy for you to have your dream yard because you can order online and get your plants delivered directly to your door. If you're like me, you're tired of spending way too much money on landscaping. And if you walk into one of those nurseries and you look at all the stuff they have, you have no idea where to begin. That's why you need fastgrowingtrees.com. Doesn't matter about the size of your yard. They got over 6,000 plants to fit any space, and a 14-point quality checklist ensures you will get the best quality plants possible. This fall, they have the best deals for your yard, up to half off on select plants and other deals. And listeners to our show get 15% off their first purchase when using the code BIRDS at checkout. 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com using the code BIRDS at checkout. Now's the perfect time to plant. Use BIRDS to save today. The offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply. Check out the link below or in the show notes and support the show. Hey, Philly fans, game day is stressful enough. Parking, traffic, long lines. We've all been there. But when it comes to your cannabis, Camden Apothecary makes it easy. This is the dispensary for sports fans, just minutes outside of Philly with plenty of free parking. You'll be in and out fast, no hassle, no waiting. And they don't just care about convenience. Camden Apothecary is all about the guest experience. Their staff makes sure you feel taken care of every time you walk in. Plus, they carry only the best quality cannabis at the fairest prices. So whether you're stocking up for the tailgate, the watch party, or celebrating a big win, you know you're getting the good stuff without overpaying. They even show love to the community with specials for fans, students, service members, and healthcare pros. Camden Apothecary, top quality cannabis, great prices, and an experience made for Philly fans 21 and up. Here's something you would also never believe. The Eagles as a collective team have 11 sacks through 7 games.
I think I know.
Ryan Burns has 9 sacks.
Oh my God, 9!
Ryan has 2 fewer than the entire Eagles pass rush. That is not something I had on my 2025 Eagles bingo card.
Oh no, I thought you were going to tell me. I actually may or may not. Who's leading them in sacks? Is it like Patrick Johnson or something really weird like that?
It is. I think it's still Zadarius Smith. Actually, no, it's Moro Ajomo with 3, and Bond has 2.
Okay.
Jordan Davis has 2. Zadarius Smith 1.5. So Zadarius Smith is still their leading edge rusher for sacks with 1.5. Isn't that crazy?
It's again, BG coming back's great. Who knows what it's going to look like? I like what he said in his little video. No expectations, because you have to say that he's 37 years old. Who the hell knows? He doesn't know.
All right, let me leave you with one other great stat. The Eagles have 5 interceptions. Okay, not one single one of them has come from a cornerback.
Yeah, I knew you.
That's crazy.
It's a bit of weird. Look, here's the thing about the weirdness of this season, right? They're 5-2 somehow. That's the crazy thing. They got a lot of improvement to go. Everybody knows that who watches the team closely. Everyone watching this show obviously knows that. They're going to get some reinforcements back eventually. See about Bennett and other guys, but the coaches know it. No one's proud of that they haven't played a complete game yet at all. They just have not. But we'll see if they can build off of it. But it's a long season. This is a year. This is the most wide open year I've seen in over a decade. There are no dominant football teams. Nobody's even close to dominant like the Eagles were last year.
No, that's why I started opening the show to ask you about all these teams, and I had even forgotten about the Packers. But yeah.
I don't believe in the Packers. I wish I never. What's that?
The Colts just in the AFC.
Oh, I can't believe that. That's insane.
Yeah,
that's insane. But I wish I never picked the Packers to win their division. Detroit, they were my team 4 years ago when no one liked them, and then I got worried about John Morton, the OC, because he didn't do well with the Jets.
Yeah,
but I forgot he was with Ben Johnson 3 years. I should have. And the fact that they're winning with their whole secondary was out last week, the Lions. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, they've learned to play without they've learned to play with injuries a lot over the last 2 years.
Right.
Yeah, they're getting a little healthier. McNeil's back, but either way, this game against the Eagles Giants is a huge, huge game for the Eagles before the bye, and we will have it all broken down from A to Z with Greg Cosell on the Inside the Birds pregame show, and that'll be out Saturday, 6 a.m. That's going to do it for this Inside the Birds podcast, the leading podcast in Eagles intel. And as always, we thank you for flying with us. Inside the Birds. Be sure to check out our friends at PHLSportsNation.com. They're enhancing the fans' experience with their coverage of all Philadelphia sports teams. For the fan, by the fan is their motto. So make sure you check them out at PHLSportsNation.com and on Twitter at PHLSportsNation.